welcome to Agile Apothecary. My name is Masha and this is a how-to video where we discuss the basics of running different ceremonies, using different Agile tools and applying best practices. And in today's video, I would like to talk to you about running classic retrospective. There are many different types of retrospectives, many different approaches. Some are fun, some are similar to a game, but today I would like to discuss the classic standard retrospective. And we are going to start with who, what, and why. So, who must attend a retrospective? Everyone, all the team members, but we usually don't include stakeholders, we don't include managers. Even though they might be part of the team, we want to create psychological safety for the team members during retrospective so that they can share everything openly. So we only invite team members. What is a retrospective? This is an event where we gather together as a team and we discuss the processes that are not working or working for us, and we decide how we can improve, how we can make it better as a team, what we need to change, and we make decisions about certain action items. So the purpose of retrospective is to achieve continuous improvement. Why do we do that? So that we can keep growing as a team, become better, and keep on delivering value to our customers and to our organization. So let's discuss some best practices for running a good retrospective. First of all, it is very important to set the scene and explain the purpose of retrospective to the team members. So something that we just discussed. Why do we want to do that? How do we do that? And what is the desired outcome? So in the end of the day, we want to have certain action items. We want to have clear understanding what we need to do next in order to become better. And we don't want to use retrospective as a place to complain, to point fingers at each other, and just be all moody and upset about things that are probably not working in our team. We want to be proactive, we want to take action. How do we maximize the outcomes of our retrospective? Well, first of all, I usually do retrospectives regularly at regular intervals, once every couple of weeks. So I would make it clear for the team that we are looking at the last couple of weeks, specifically what was working or not working for us. And if we want to have a broader look at organization overall or team overall or our product or our processes in general, usually that's something that we do less regularly, but at the designated team workshops. That is a subject for another discussion. So we set the scene, we describe the rules, we describe the time frame, and then I usually would start with silent brainstorming. So if we do it in person, each team member would write on post-it notes their ideas. Usually we would have a board with 3 categories, 3 columns: what went well, what didn't go well, and what we could improve, or ideas. So team members would write the ideas on post-it notes and put it on the board. If we do it remotely, we can use Miro, or there are many different tools for retrospective specifically where you can still do the silent brainstorming, so everyone writes down their own ideas and then we put it all together. The reason for doing silent brainstorming is because we want all the voices to be heard, every team member to contribute at least something. And if we just start sharing ideas, usually people with the loudest voices will take over and not all the voices will be heard. Now we did the brainstorming, people put their ideas on the wall into 3 different categories, and then we would discuss, we would go through them, and we would group some ideas together if they're related to the same topic. We would clarify some details, ask questions, and get more information, discuss if other team members agree and disagree. And as we come through some idea which needs an action item, so we need to change something, or we need to, let's say, apply for a new software, or we need to set a meeting, or we need to request something from our vendor, etc., we would right away write it down as an action item on a separate post-it. I would usually ask someone to be a designated note taker for this session, and usually this role would rotate. Sometimes I would do that as well, but as an Agile coach, I want to create a situation where team members can rotate any kind of responsibilities so that they don't need me to run all the processes. So they would write down the action items, we would put them aside for a while, and as we go through all ideas that we have on the board, we would go to our action items. Now, the important thing here is that not necessarily all the action items that we come up with will need to be implemented. So in the end of retrospective, we really need to make sure that we keep some time to go through action items, to prioritize them, to align on them, maybe discard some of them or put them on the wish list for better times, and put them on our backlog. And this is also the time, if it's not your first time doing retrospective, this is also the time when we would look at the old action items. And this is very important. So if we don't keep this continuity between retrospectives, we will not make any improvements, because if you create action items and you forget about them right away and you never check on them, you won't be making any improvements. So we need to also go through old action items and check what's going on, if any progress was made, if it's still relevant, if we still need it, if we need to discard it, and prioritize all the action items that we have against each other. And in the end of the day, you want to add the prioritized action items to your backlog along with your normal work items. Final tip that I would like to give you about retrospectives. This is something I do, and you might have different opinions about that, but I really prefer avoiding using any words which have negative connotation. So for example, instead of putting on my board what went wrong, I would say what did not go well. Because we don't want people to get overly negative. I don't really want them to start getting into this negative mood. We want to get into the problem solving mood. We don't want to be complaining, but instead we want to think about things that can be improved and how. So the how is the most important part. Not that something went wrong. We want to be taking any failures, any problems as learnings and build on top of that, rather than dwell upon it and keep ranting to each other about things that were bad. So I would avoid any words, any phrases that might have negative connotation and might invoke some negativity in the team members, but instead try to build this atmosphere where we all put our creative hats on and start thinking in the problem-solving approach. I hope you find some useful ideas. Please share in the comments if you have your own know-how or best practices around retrospectives. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.